Hello, my name's Georgie Newbery. I'm a flower farmer and florist based between fashionable Bruton and up-and-coming Wincanton here in grey, dreich, wet, miserable, muddy Somerset in southwest England. And the tulip bulbs have arrived. So, inevitably, I'm going to make a clip about how we plant our tulips here. I have 4,500 of them, and I'm going to start by taking them all out of their boxes. If you enjoy these clips, please do subscribe to the channel. You can press the bell icon and we'll tell you when we've got more clips coming up. And if you find any of the tips and tricks I give you as we go useful, then please do buy me a coffee. The link is in the blurb for each of my clips. Thank you very much. Come on, let's get these tulips sorted out. Now, the first thing to do is to get out a packing list and check what you've ordered. And it turns out that I have not ordered 4,500 tulips, but 6,000 tulips. Oh well, more the merrier. And I also, so then I need to work out the space that I need for them. And I get about 150 tulip bulbs into a square metre and I have metre wide running beds. And so 6,000 tulip bulbs are going to need 40 metres of running beds. Luckily, I have prepared those beds, so that's good. But it's always good to check because who knows, it could get out of control, and you don't want to find at the end of the process that you've got masses of tulips and nowhere to put them. So if I had more tulips than I have space, I could be sorting them out and planting them, and old Fabrizio could be prepping the extra space. But I think we're going to be all right. I've got 40 metres of running beds a metre wide. Whew. Right, better start unpacking. So unpacked, they look like this. 24 varieties, all in heaps. And you do have to go through it. You may imagine that each box would hold, particular variety altogether. But because the boxes are not designed to hold exactly the right amount of bulbs to suit me, sometimes you get sort of the odd one far away. So it's really worth doing this. And believe me, I will plant them all in blocks, and there will, at the end, be some odd little bags that go in on their own and are a funny little mix. So, because I like to do everything in chunks, that's 6,000. If we get 1,000 in this afternoon, that's 2,500 tomorrow, 2,500 on Friday, and we will be all done by Friday afternoon. So the beds are prepped, and here's Fabrizio popping in the bulbs. They have about twice a divide in an egg box in between them, and that space will get 100 bulbs in it. So you can see for 6,000 bulbs, we need all of the space that I've prepped here. Right, I can't chat, I've got to get on. What we do is we dig holes which are about the size, or easy manageable size holes, and by the time everything's covered up, it's about 4 inches deep. And we make a hole at a time, because otherwise, if you just do it that way, it works. So this hole now has 100 tulips in it, and Fabrizio is now going to backfill with what is on the board. And you don't have to be quite so perfect about it. He's being very perfect because of the filming. They turn over. And he doesn't want them to turn over. He's right. And then we can flip the board and make a hole and carry on and carry on and carry on. So that's 100. That's the first 100. Only 5,900 to go. This variety is ballerina. It's a very beautiful orange scented variety. What you can see here is that Fabrizio has dug out gutters along the side of the beds, and that means that here in this very, very wet clay, there's somewhere for the water to go, and it stops the tulips rotting. This is lovely friable soil that we've made over years and years and years on our very, very thick clay. The skill is, as I say before, and I'll say it again, add compost all the time for years. So here, now done, with the board to help, are 1,150. And it's taken us a little over an hour. You see, it's quicker than you think. Just got to get on. So with a spade in the ground to show where we've got to, that, my friends, is it. I've got to go 2,500 tomorrow, 2,500 on Friday, and we'll all be done. So that, my friends, is how we plant our tulips. It is a very efficient and swift process. We used to plant them closer together, but we keep getting these rather dry springs. And so I'm giving them a little bit more space between them than I used to, so they don't dry out, because otherwise I find I'm watering them, and it feels counterintuitive to be watering spring bulbs in Somerset, where we're supposed to be so wet. This is essentially officially a marsh where we live. Anyway, enough of that. Time to go. I must go and have a bath because I have an online workshop to teach in an hour. And I always think it's respectful to look elegant for an online workshop. This afternoon it's the Flower Farmer's Year, and I bet if I look on my calendar it says first week of November or second week of November, plant the tulips. So luckily we're getting there. If you've enjoyed this clip, please do subscribe. You can press the bell icon and we'll tell you when we've got more clips coming out. And if the tips and tricks we give you as we go along are useful, then please do buy me a coffee. Yes, a question I bet some of you are going to ask is whether the ground we are planting the tulips into has been tilled, and the answer is yes. Fabrizio has tickled the beds over with the rotavator, and we've included quite a lot of good compost to keep. We're on very, very thick clay, and clay constantly comes up to the surface, so you constantly have to add well-rotted, humus-rich material in order to keep the beds friable. And there was something else I thought that you might like to know, or maybe not. It is actually raining and nearly dark, so forgive me. I'm going to go and, you know the best way to clean your hands after you've been gardening? Wash your hair. There you go, there's a tip. Right, I'll see you soon. Have fun planting your tulips.